What's up, everybody? Alrighty. What's up, everybody? We're live now. I'm going to talk to you today about my childhood and growing up. First of all, my name is Dylan Ray Stiles, and on YouTube, I'm known as Ray Stiles Jr. You can follow me on everything at Ray Stiles Jr. And yeah, so I'm just going to get right into it, and we're going to let people join in as we go along. So, first things first, I was born in July the 9th of 1998, and I was born in a small town in Tennessee. So, when I was born, I had a birth defect, and it messed up like my physical appearance, but it didn't mess up my mind. So as I got older, the doctors at first they told my mom and dad that I wouldn't be able to walk, wouldn't be able to eat, wouldn't be able to talk, wouldn't be able to do anything. So um they doctors come in and told my parents that they would need a miracle, and my grandmother looked down and said, "Well, we believe in him." So growing up, I went to school and stuff. I had over 40 something surgeries. I used to have a trach in my neck, and I got that taken out when I was 16. And the didn't always bless me. Um, that's all I really got to say about that. Growing up in East Tennessee, running around the back roads and stuff, had a lot of buddies, got in a lot of fights, and I would have to go into surgeries, and I would miss like big parts in school. And there was one point where I was homeschooled for like 3 years, and homeschooling is it was alright, but it just wasn't for me. I think if if I would have been more interested in what I was doing then, I think homeschooling would have worked for me, but I wasn't. I just wanted to wrestle with my cousins on the second wing, and that was really it. So as I got older, I went into high school and I always wanted to play football. So whether I got into high school, it was my sophomore year, and I decided I was going to play football. I wanted to play my freshman year, but I had surgery, and I couldn't play my freshman year. So I started playing my sophomore year, and I played for 3 years varsity football and through high school. And then after that, I graduated, and I started drinking, and I lived a good part of my life, drinking. Kind of regret that, but God puts us through stuff for a reason, and yeah. So that's just a quick rundown of my life story and who I am. This is my first time on YouTube since 2021. I think it's the last time I made a YouTube video, and I've completely changed from then to now. I'm nothing like I used to be back then. And so let's just move on here to the next topic. I got in my notes. Here it is. So yeah, this is faith and religion. Now, how I became a Christian was I grew up in church. I've been took to church my whole life. Grew up Christian, and my father is a preacher. My papa was a preacher, and then I got two cousins that are preachers. And then I got a first cousin that's a preacher, and it was just in my bloodline. So I went to church when I was young. I went to church I went to church my whole life, and when I got older, I kind of went away from it. I kind of went away from church, and started drinking and doing things that you know uh, really wasn't supposed to be doing. And let's see, if that's on. Yeah, that's on. Maybe. Oh, I don't know what I did. Yeah, I don't care about that. Okay, anyway. I started drinking and partying hard. I'm talking about every single day. I moved out when I was 21 and I got an apartment in Allen. It was every single day I was getting hammered. And then COVID hit in 2020. COVID hit, and everybody was locked into their house. I wasn't locked into my house. I was in Florida. You know, gas prices were like $1.89 in 2020. Man, I loaded up the truck and I was gone. I went to Florida like 4 times that year. I never wore a mask or anything. And everybody was saying, "Oh, COVID." I had COVID twice. First time I had COVID, I thought it was going to kill me. And it made me really sick. I was sick for like 3 weeks. After that, I was over it. And then, second time I had COVID, I was sick for 2 days, and that was it. I had to stay on lockdown for 14 days. They kept me in the house. But that was just pointless. I mean, now COVID's not even that big of a deal. You never even hear about it now. It's wild. But back to getting on topic. Back to topic. Religion. Uh, I'm a Christian, and I started coming out of COVID. I had moved back into my parents' house, lost my apartment, basically lost almost everything I had because drinking and stuff like that. You know, you can't really maintain anything while you're drunk if you don't get a job. So I moved back in, and during that time, it was very difficult for me because I had lost both my grandmother on my dad's side, and I had lost my grandfather just about 3 months later on my mom's side. And I was really close with both of them. And I slipped back out. I mean, I was partying hard during this time. I was really going through it. Drinking hard, and I had started a business selling shoes during this time. And as I'm selling shoes, I don't make $200, $300, $400 a day, and then I would party all night long, come back home with about $200. I did that every day for like about a whole year. I did that, and April of 2021, I had an accidental overdose on some edibles that I believe was laced. I believe somebody had laced them with LSD, but I got a hold of them and I overdosed in the middle of the street. and they had to come get me in the ambulance, and they said I went out for like 2-3 minutes, and that was the wildest experience in my life. There's nothing like dying. I They put me in the ambulance, and it felt like the ambulance was going 200 miles an hour. It felt like we were going so fast that I was about to fly out of the back of the ambulance. So when we pulled into the hospital and they opened the ambulance door, it was like my soul just flew out of my body up into the sky. And everything went black, and I woke up the next day in my parents' living room asking what had happened, because I had no idea what had happened. I was completely shocked. No clue what had happened. And I remember my mom come into my room, which is on a week later on a Sunday. My mom, it might have been the next day. My mom come into my room and she had just went to church, and she come in there and she was like, "You can't just sit in here. You have to pick yourself up and do something. Don't just settle. Go get what you want. Work hard, uh, and go get what you want." And I'll never forget that. And I was like, okay, I need to change. And I started that Monday, the next day, I went to the gym with my cousin, and I started working out. I was only 120. I was only like 127 pounds when I started working out. And I got in the gym, started working out, started going consistently, started boxing, started doing MMA. And during this time, through all of this, God was talking to me and dealing with me, wanting me to preach. And, I'm trying to better myself. I was trying to do better. And I was working out, you know, 6 days a week, going to the gym, really getting it in, and boxing. Started boxing with one of my buddies I grew up with, and I was still drinking every now and then during this time, and then one night I got a text from my mom, and it said, "Guess what?" And I texted back, I was like, "What?" And she said, "You're gonna be an uncle." And I was like, "I'm gonna be an uncle." I was like, man. And then I realized I had a big responsibility now, because I want my nephew to be better than I was. I want my nephew to be the best that he can be. And I started realizing and really taking it serious that I need to clean up my life. I need to clean up myself so that I can show him, you know, really how to live and be the best that you can be. And hopefully one day he'll take my story and everything that I've been through, the 40-something surgeries, the doctors telling me that I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that, and never be able to talk, never be able to walk, never be able to eat. I can do all of that. I can do all of that. I'm perfectly normal as a human being. I am perfectly normal. I might have a physical problem, but that doesn't matter. Looks doesn't matter. It's not what's on the inside that matters. That's not what matters. So when I started cleaning up my life and I started coming off of uh, alcohol and drugs, I started uh, working. I started working a job, and this job, you know, it was in a factory, and I started working in this factory, and I would work, you know, 5, 6, 7 days a week. I'm talking about 8 to 10 to 12 hour shifts, 7 days a week. And I did that for about a year and a half. I really worked, like, really worked hard, and I bought a house, and I was working to get that house paid off, and, I'm working 7 days a week, 8, 10, 12 hour shifts every single day. And it was really hard because I hated it. If anybody's ever worked in a factory, you know what I'm talking about. It's it's so hard. Like, everybody in there is just toxic. It's really toxic. And we're all there for the same reason, is to make money. But it was just toxic. The atmosphere was toxic. I was working, and I looked up and I thought, God, I gotta get out of here so I can go do what you want me to do. So I come up with a plan to get out of that job. And I started saving $1,000 a paycheck. And I was paying my loan payment on my house at the same time. And I was working, 7 days a week and saving money. I wasn't going to church at this time either. And I was really searching, trying to get out of there. And I did. I did. It paid off. I saved up money, and I paid off my house. And I was like, okay, I got my house paid off. I can leave. I can leave. And I was actually investing money in the stock market too at this time. And I built up some money on the stock market to get me to my last paycheck. So I went, put in my 2 weeks notice. I wrote my 2 weeks notice out. I left my job. I was living off the money that I had put in the stock market. And then I got my last paycheck. Well, I had that last paycheck sitting there, and I went to the bank, and I took out another loan. And I put all that money in my bank account. The reason why I did that was so I could pay my bills. And actually, why I did that was so I had the bank pay my bills. And I put all that money in my bank account. And really, I didn't really have to do that, but that's what I did. Because then I took out my 401k. I didn't even know how much money was in my 401k. I never checked it. And it was up there. So they sent me my 401k money, and I put it in there with it. Well, I got all that money paying my bills, and then I put my house up for sale. And this is all within like a 2-month period. I put my house up for sale, and I started going to church more. But when I put my house up for sale, I didn't know how long it was going to take to sell it. So I put it up on Facebook Marketplace, and I was waiting, had people, come and look at it. And I was just like, look, I was to the point to where I was like, I want the cash, and I want it now. Well, luckily God sent a man, and he come and he brought me the money. And God really blessed me. And once that happened, I went to this place in Knoxville, Tennessee, and it's on top of a hotel. God took me up on top of that hotel, and I was standing there, and it was like I was looking down. It was like I was in heaven. Because that place up there is beautiful. It's 14 stories high. up on top of the hotel. It's got a swimming pool on top of the roof, and it was like I was in heaven. And God spoke to me and He said, "Look down." And I looked down on the city, and I heard sirens, people screaming, and it was like these people need help. And it was like He was telling me, He was like, "I want you to help them. I want you to help these people." And I thought about it, and God had been dealing with me to start preaching for a long time. And I kept running from it and running from it. And then in that moment, whenever He told me, He took me up there, and it was like I was in heaven, and I seen all these people who needed help. I felt like I was Batman. And He was like, "These people need help. And there's only one way that you can help them, and that's telling them the word of God." And I come back home, and I had done some research on my bloodline, and I traced it all the way back to King David and Israel. And I thought, man, that's crazy. I come from King David and Israel. And then I started looking at my bloodline, and I realized how many preachers and how many men of God were in my bloodline. And I was like, man, this is just, it's meant to be. I have to do this. Like, this is what God's calling me to do. And He was speaking to me. I was alone by myself a lot, because now, I had the freedom to do so. And He showed me, once you get money, you got two choices. You can do good or you can do bad. And He showed me it's like we were in a wood. He gave me a dream. It was like the world is split in half. All the, it was like we were switching on wood. It was like all the evil was on this side, and all the good was on this side with Jesus. And I was in the middle. There was people in the middle, and they were picking sides. And I looked over to my right, and I seen my whole family on the right side, and I ran to the right side. And I believe that was God really showing me, I want you to fight the good fight. I want you to be a soldier to me. And I said, all right, God, if that's what you want me to do, that's what I'm going to have to do. It's going to have to happen at some point. Like I said, it was in my bloodline. It comes from my grandfather, my daddy, my cousins, all of them were preachers. And it was like, you're next. You're the next in line. You need to tell people the word of God. You need to help these people. And it was funny, the night that I announced my calling to preach, I looked over and my cousin was there. And he was, you could just see it all over him. He wanted it bad. He wanted it. And I looked at him and I said, you're next, right? Well, as soon as I did that, he announced his calling to preach. And both of us announced their calling to preach in the same night. And then when I preached my first message, I flipped open the Bible, and my dad had said, you better be getting a message ready, because you're probably going to have to preach pretty soon. So I was like, okay, and he left his Bible sitting on the bar at my house, and I flipped it over, and it flipped over straight to Jeremiah 23. And in Jeremiah 23, it talks about how God's flock of sheep had gotten scattered. And it said that God was going to, it said that God was going to gather his flock. And I read that story of how God said he was going to gather that flock. And it was talking about the bloodline of David. And it opened my eyes, and I was like, I come from the bloodline of David. And it was like that verse just spoke to me, and it's like God was telling me, this is exactly what you need to do. You're exactly where you need to be. And it really blessed me and gave me the confidence to get up here and do what I'm doing now. And God told me, He said, you got a big platform. You got YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Use it for good. Use it for God. And that's exactly what I intend to do with this channel. And I hope that I can bless some people. And I hope that I can bring out the Word of God in a way that you can understand it. And it's really a blessing to be here and talking to y'all. It's really what I think I'm trying to do. So my message to the world is, I want you to be the best that you can be. Not only for yourself, but for God and your family. I want you to be the best version of you that you can be. Because that's what God showed me and wanted me to be, the best version of myself that I can be. And I believe to truly be the best version of myself, I believe this is what I should be doing. I've always wanted to help people anyway. I've always wanted to help people uh, my whole life. So when God sent me this message, He was like, you can really help people. With your story, you had over 40 something surgeries that God has brought me through, and I can really help people. And that's what I intend to do. But like I said, my message to the world is, I want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And like I said, I work out every day. I just got done working out at the gym, and come here and I'm doing my first live stream. And it's just a blessing to do what I'm doing. He gave me all the knowledge of how to do this stuff, so I'm gonna use it for him. All my knowledge and all my strength and all my confidence comes from God. And I want to tell you, if you're struggling with confidence, then seek God. If you're struggling with your strength, if you feel weak, seek God. God will give you strength. God will give you confidence. And I I actually found a verse in the Bible that says, we are confident. We are confident. Who's we? You and God. You get your confidence from God. It says, we are confident. To be absent from the body, is to be present with the Lord. So that's telling me that God gives us a confidence. And confidence comes from God. And so does strength. In the Bible it says, I posted it today on my Facebook and on my Twitter and on my Instagram. I posted, I can do all things. I hate this. Uh, I posted it and it said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If you're weak, like I said, seek God. He'll give you strength. Start going to the gym. I was 127 pounds when I started. Now I'm like 145 to 150 pounds. When you start working for Him and you start trying to better yourself and you try to be the best version of you that you can be, He will strengthen you. He will give you the confidence. He will give you the strength to carry on. And I just felt like sharing that message with y'all. And my my message is to young men is, you know, be the best that you can be. When you're out there and you're working and you're trying your best and you're really giving 100%, you're gonna have confidence. If you're struggling with confidence with girls and things in your life, give it to God. Take it to God. Seek God. I I guarantee you, whether you find the truth and you start standing on your word, and your word is the truth, women, they will find that attractive. I guarantee it. Whether you have the confidence to stand up and tell somebody the truth, and you stand on your word, and you have the ambition, and you are a hard-working individual, and you don't give up no matter what, I guarantee you, they'll find you attractive. I guarantee you. And I believe that as men on earth, it is our job to protect and provide to our wife and our children. And I will stand on that message until I die because that's what the Bible says. It's what it says. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and look it up. I'm gonna tell you where that's at because it's the truth. And that's my job is to come on here and tell y'all the truth. So in the Bible, it says in maybe I have to go to this. Give me just a second. Right here. In Ephesians chapter 5, 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Now let's talk about the wives. Let's talk about the women. God gave men women to be their helpmates. God gave men women to help us. He didn't give us women so that men can absolutely just dominate and they don't get the honey. He didn't give us women so men can just absolutely dominate them and control them. No. He gave us women to help us. That's why he gave us women. And then it says right here, this is the part where I'm talking to the men. This is the part where I'm talking to y'all. It says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and give himself for it. That means you're supposed, that means that, this stupid microphone. That means that you are supposed to love your wife so much that you would lay down your life to save her. I told you earlier, it is a man's job to protect and provide to women and his children. And right there, that Bible verse backs me up. It backs me up. And people on Twitter, I posted that on Twitter, and people arguing with me over that. But it's the truth. And I tell you what, the truth will stand when the world's on fire. Believe that. I really believe that. And I'm telling you, the best thing you can do as a man is to provide and protect for your family. That is your job as a husband, as a boyfriend, as the head of your household. It is your job to provide and protect your family. Now, and not only that, but just in general, it's a man's job to protect a woman. If we're in a grocery store and some psycho maniac comes in there with an AK and starts spraying people down, and there's women in there, it is the men's job to protect those women. I don't care if you have to sneak up behind the dude. If a dude come in there, say that we're in the UK, and we're in a grocery store in England, and some psychopath comes in there with a knife, it is my job as a man to protect the women and children in that store from that psychopath. Not only from people, think about the Titanic. Whenever the boat was going down, they loaded all the women and children onto the lifeboats and sent them on their way. It wasn't the men that got on them lifeboats. No, they protected the women and children. It is your job as a man to protect and provide for women. And as a woman, you should, how do I say this? Let me think on this. It is your job as a woman to be a helpmate for your man. I'm not saying that you should stay in a relationship where he's beaten you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it should be 100 and 100. I don't believe in this 50-50 relationship. It's 100 and 100. That means I'm going to give my 100% to you, and I expect the woman to give herself 100% to me. Because it is my job as a man to provide and protect my woman. It's in the Bible. And people argue with me on Twitter all the time about that. But that's my message. Be the best you can be for yourself, for your wife, and for God. That is the main core of my message. Go to the gym. Go to work. If you don't feel like it, it doesn't matter. Do it anyway. Let me tell you something. Whenever you're going through a hard time, let's talk about Job. Let's talk about Job for a minute. Job in the Bible. Whenever he was doing good, he was thanking God. But whenever he had everything taken away from him, what was he still doing? He was still thanking God. He was still praying. He was still seeking God. That's how you should be. That's how you should be. That's how you should be. You should be like Job. And you should say, God, it doesn't matter how I feel. It doesn't matter if I'm sick. It doesn't matter if I feel alone. It doesn't matter if I'm happy. It doesn't matter if I got money in the bank or not. I'm still going to serve you. I'm still going to do my job. It doesn't matter how you feel. You still have to do your work. You still got work to do. I didn't really feel like making a YouTube channel and getting on here and telling you the truth. But it doesn't matter how I feel, because I had a job to do. When I started preaching, I picked up a new job. This is my new job. I'm supposed to tell people the truth. I'm supposed to tell people the word of God. That is my new job. And that's what I intend. This microphone is making me mad. That's what I intend to do. That is exactly what I intend to do. That's exactly why I started making YouTube videos again. That's exactly why I went about this computer and this whole setup is so that I can come on here and tell people the word of God and tell people what I've been through and my story and where I come from because I want to help people. And the only way I can truly help people is to show them and teach them the word of God. And that's exactly what God put me on this earth to do. So, with that being said, you can follow me on any social media platform at Ray Stiles Jr. Ray Stiles Jr. is all together. At Ray Stiles Jr. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, any social media website. You can follow me on that. And so go follow me. I post messages every day. And I had a challenge coming up. It's coming up to be the 7th month of the year, which is my birth month. I was born in July the 9th. It is the 7th month of the year, and I had a challenge. I am challenging people to do 1 week in July. I'm challenging you to do 700 push-ups in 1 week. I promise you, you will feel better. 700 push-ups in 1 week. That's 100 push-ups a day for 7 days. And my challenge starts on July 1st. But you have 4 weeks in July. Pick one of those weeks. You might have 5 weeks. You might have 5 weeks in July. Pick one of those weeks and try your best to do 700 push-ups that week. That's 100 push-ups a day for 7 days. And the reason why I'm wanting you to do that is because I want you to understand and I want you to get out of your comfort zone and trust God. Like I said, God's word said, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. You can do all things through Christ, who strengthens you. I want you to find your strength in God. That's why I made this challenge. That's why God told me to make this challenge. 700 push-ups in 1 week. 100 push-ups a day. You can do them any way you want to. You can do 2 sets of 50 each day, or you can do 10 sets of 10, or you can do what I'm doing. I'm doing 5 sets of 20 push-ups. 5 sets of 20 push-ups. So I'm challenging you to do this. I'm challenging you to do this to show you that whenever you try something, whenever you step out and you trust God, I guarantee you, He will give you strength. I guarantee you. Whether you trust God, it doesn't matter. When you trust God, I guarantee you, He will give you the strength. I guarantee it. And there's a reason why I want to do the 700 push-ups is because our body is a temple. Our body is a temple to God. So I want y'all to build your temple. Build your temple. Make it strong. We need to be strong for God. We need to be strong for the Lord. Because I'm telling you, we're in a battle. We're in a battle not only physically, but spiritually. Every day we wake up in a war. And it's a war between good and evil. It's a war between the devil and God. We are in a war, people. It's coming down to the end of days, and we're in a war. And God wants you to be strong in Him. How do you get strong in Him? You start reading the Bible. You start seeking God, and He will make you strong. And then challenge yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. Get down on the floor and try doing push-ups. Matter of fact, I got something right here. Yeah, here we go. Look, I got weights right here. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Easy. Easy. It's not hard to be strong. You can find ways to be strong. You need to seek God. That's when you get your strength. Just like I said earlier, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God will give you strength. By the way, this microphone. By the way, if you're wondering why I had on sunglasses, there is a huge light. Like you can see it in my glasses. There is a huge light up there, and I don't want to be blind, so that's why I'm wearing sunglasses. But anyway, back to my point. Be the best you can be in life. Be the absolute best that you can be. Give 100% in whatever you do. And do it for God. That's my true message. Do it for God. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. And God will bless you. God will give you strength. He will give you confidence. He will give you a love that you won't even understand. When I started preaching, it was like God gave me this new love. Now, I thought I knew what love was. But whenever I started preaching, I really, really got to know what it was. Because not only do I love people for who they are, but I love their souls. I want them to feel what I feel. I want them to be blessed and I really want to show a light for God. And I hope that people see a light in me for God. That's really what I want. That's really my heart's desire. And I hope my story inspires you. Like this video, share it, subscribe. I'm going to be doing live streams, different videos. I'm going to be doing all kinds of stuff. Now that I had the platform, before when I was doing YouTube, I didn't have the confidence to do YouTube. I didn't have the confidence to do this. I didn't have the confidence to get on here and start talking like I am now. I'm completely different from what I used to be. I didn't have the confidence to get on here. I thought, oh, well, they're going to think I'm ugly. Well, I just don't really like how I talk. I don't like the tone of my voice. I don't care about that stuff now. I don't care if you like me or not. You know why? Because I got my confidence from God. That's why. I don't care. I had a job to do. It's my job to get on here and tell people about God. Tell people about Jesus. Show people the way, the truth, and the light. It's my job to do that. And like I said, I really hope God uses me for good, to do good, to help people. And I hope that I can say something that's going to help somebody. If you don't like the job that you're in right now, if you hate your job, you can get out. There is a way out. If you think and seek God and ask Him, God, how do I get out? How do I get out of this? Ask, mm, ask, mm, ask God to help you. Ask God to lead you and guide you. Put God first in everything. Put God first. If you, like I said, if you hate your job, there is a way out. I got out. He will make a way when it seems like there's no way. He will make a way for you. I promise you. Once you start seeking God and you start telling Him what you want and what you need, He will provide it. He's a provider. He will give you strength. He will change you. And guess what? I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want. You know why? Because He changed my want to. He changed what I want. He changed what I want to do. And He can change you too. All you have to do is accept Him. All you have to do is seek Him. All you have to do is find Him. The Bible says, seek and you shall find. Seek God, and I guarantee you're going to find Him. He will give you strength. He will give you power. He knows your needs. He knows the desires of your heart. Go out there and find it. Seek God. Ask Him to help you. That's all I have. I hope you enjoyed my story. I hope you enjoyed listening to me. I hope you could hear me. Most importantly, I hope you could hear me. And I hope I said something that would bless you and help you. And that's all I got to say. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, here. Like, subscribe, share the video. Thank y'all for listening. And I hope I can help somebody. That's all I have.